Hi, everybody. It's Skip Clark. This is another edition of the Skip Happens podcast. Hello. There she is. Hey. She's back from Nashville, everybody. She's actually in her living room.
I know.
I know where she is.
I've been gone a long time.
Yeah, you were, and I'm jealous. It's Deb Lamphere. She is the president and founder of the official Country Music Fan Club, and we've got a really unique person here with us tonight, and she's a new artist, real new artist. I mean, like real new artist. Her name's Courtney Janecka. Janecka. Did I say that right, Courtney? Yeah, okay.
Yes, you did.
And she is, tell everybody where you are right now. Where are you?
I am in Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas.
In my grandpa's guest room.
I love it. Tell us a little bit about Waco, Texas, because we're in the Northeast. Here we have snow. We woke up to several inches of snow today. But
a dream.
Really? Well,
yeah.
We would switch.
Yeah. Let's pack some up and send it her way.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it'd make it, but it's a good idea. Tell us a little bit about Waco first. Then we're going to get into a whole lot about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this tells you anything, it was about 90 degrees and then a cold front came in and it was 40 and it hasn't been hot again. So I guess winter's just here. Wow. That's just kind of how it works. So
wait a minute, 90 to 40?
Mm-hmm. Literally overnight. It's been kind of crazy, but it's a pretty small town, but with Magnolia, it's been booming a lot. Like a lot of people have been moving here. I don't know. I love it. I live kind of in a suburb area called Woodway.
Okay.
And it's just like got one main street called Hewitt, and that's where all the restaurants are. And all my friends live pretty much within 5 minutes of me. The longest drive in Waco is probably 10 minutes. So it's perfect. I love it. But,
do you have an Applebee's?
We do, I think. I don't know. I don't go to Applebee's, but
Applebee's on a date night. I don't know. I was just thinking of that song. I think there's an Applebee's just about everywhere, but
probably.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
We get to chat a little bit, find out a little bit or a whole lot about you. You've got a song that's out, Our Constitution. Yep. But that song was part of, what is it, Constituting America? Is that?
Yes.
All right. First of all, tell us about Constituting America. How did you get involved with that?
Yeah, so Constituting America is this incredible organization that aims to try to educate young people on the Constitution and just help you kind of realize that the Constitution is not, it's something that our foundation is on now. You know, like everything that we do in our country is all based on the principles laid out in the Constitution. And I think a lot of people, especially my age, just kind of think of it as some old historical document that doesn't really affect any of our day to day, but it really does. And it's not something that's tied to one party or one political idea or belief. Like it's something that's just really real and very, helpful and impactful in everybody's lives who lives in America. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what the organization aims to do. And there's different ways that they do that. They host different seminars and speak at schools and things. But I won an award for some volunteer service when I was in middle school. And they approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in being on their founding youth advisory board. So through that, I just was on some different calls and things with some different kids from across the country on ways that we could better the program and just implement different programs and things within the organization. So yeah, I got to do some of that stuff. And then after a while, they kind of got another set of kids that came in. I'm still technically on the founding youth advisory board, but then there's a different annual advisory board that I'm not on anymore. But through that, I've still just always stayed connected. And then they sent out the email about the We the Future contest, which is the contest I won. And so I submitted my song. Yeah.
Now, I know that's interesting. How, so did they know you were a musician, or how did just something that was there and you saw it and said, I can do this?
Yeah, so it's really cool. Actually, the We the Future contest has a ton of different categories. So there's, you can do a PSA, you can do literature, you can do photography. There's all kinds of things. And I chose the songwriting competition just because I love songwriting and love music so much.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been songwriting? Because you're not that old. You're still in high school. You're still
She's not that.
Yeah.
Old isn't even in her vocabulary.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, yeah. I started songwriting probably 4 or 5 years ago, just like cheesy, little songs and things.
Yeah.
But pretty seriously, the summer before COVID. So I guess that was, oh goodness, 2 years, 3 years ago. I don't even know.
Probably
3 years ago.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. That summer, I just kind of something clicked with me, and I was kind of going through an emotional period in my life, just with some relationships and friendships, and kind of had a lot to write. And that's where I found a lot of relief in being able to like write out some of my feelings. And kind of in that connection, I just found such a passion for it. And so writing got me through a lot of the hard times of that. And then obviously going into COVID right after that, songwriting was absolutely crucial for me, because there was so much processing that I had to do, and so much time to think. And so with all that time, I kind of really found my niche and where I wanted to be as a songwriter. And I kind of got to explore some different things and try out new things, and Constituting America was part of that. And I actually filmed the video that I submitted with my song for my submission. I filmed during COVID when I was at the beach with my family. So yeah.
Is that a good place to be?
Yeah. You were playing, was it a Baby Taylor, or it's a smaller guitar?
It was a ukulele.
Ukulele. Ah.
Yeah.
See, what do I know? Absolutely. And how long have you been? So you picked up the instrument. Is that the only instrument you play, or?
Yeah, I play I play three different tunings of ukulele. So the soprano, concert, and bass. And then I play guitar and piano. And I'm aspiring to play the mandolin one day.
Wow.
So did you go for lessons when you were younger? What got you into the instrumental side?
Yeah, I took piano lessons starting in first grade through seventh grade. And just did classical piano. And then after that, I took a couple years of just chords, because I'm also, my faith is a huge part of who I am. And so I lead worship at my church. Nice. And I lead with guitar and piano and stuff. So I had my piano teacher help me with just basic chords and things. But also my older brother, Carrie, he's 25 now. But he is one of the biggest musicians, like can pick up almost any instrument and play it instantly. And I respect him and look up to him a lot in my music. And, he lives in San Francisco now, and he is in the process of building a home studio. And like every time he comes home, he helps me with recording. Like he just bought me this pop filter this weekend. So yeah, I think after watching him and seeing him with all the guitars and things in his room, it made me want to learn that as well. And also with playing and doing worship, playing guitar was really important for that. So they're just little things, that led me to play the different instruments. But I have always had a huge passion and curiosity when it comes to music. Like playing the mandolin. Like I have no idea how to play a mandolin, but it just seems so fun. So
you probably would catch on fairly quickly, because if you can play the ukulele, you're good to go.
Yeah, right.
That's interesting. So then you got involved. You won the contest with your song.
Sir, yeah.
And where has that taken you?
Oh, well, I got to go and spend some time in a recording studio to record the song professionally. And that's the version that's played, on streaming services and on the radio and stuff. And so that was absolutely incredible, because like even the original recording that I submitted, I just recorded in my room. And that's where I had been doing a lot of my recording, was just, on Logic, on my MacBook, in the corner of my room. And so actually having a chance to like work with a professional and to work with these different tools and things in a studio was just so amazing, because, I realized it's not that far-fetched to be, a studio recording artist, and the quality of sound that comes along with that, and just the creative process that you go through is so much different than just working by yourself, or even working with someone in your own home. Having that input from a third party, or talking to someone, who has a kind of a bigger scope and view, and like what works, on the radio and what works professionally. And so that was super fascinating and helpful, because now I learned that there are some kinds of songs and some projects that I want to do on my own still, for experimental purposes, but also I loved just working with other people and being in a studio. So that was so amazing. Yeah.
I totally see your future and your career going in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very well spoken.
Lots of excitement. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Have you been to Nashville?
Oh, yes. And my dream college is Vanderbilt. I applied early decision. So if I get in, hopefully then I get to go. And that's
Oh.
just like, it's honestly the dream for me. And I'm not
Mhm.
even, I mean, I like country music a lot, but it's not like
Right.
necessarily my biggest thing, you know? But
Mhm.
I mean, it's just the most incredible city, honestly. I have a friend that I met when I won that volunteer service award in middle school. I was the state representative for Texas, and this other
Wow.
girl was the state representative for Tennessee. And we met in DC on our trip, and it was just like an instant soul connection. And so I've been over to Franklin a couple of times. That's where she lives, in Franklin,
Mhm.
to visit her. And every time I'm there, I'm just like, I feel so at home. And being in Nashville is just, oh, it's so much fun. And we
It's
went to
telling you something.
a writers round last time we were there. And that was like, of anything, has been the most helpful and insightful into my songwriting experience, because like just seeing these guys up on the stage talking about the songs they write and just having
Mhm.
so much fun. I don't know. There's just something about it that's so
Mhm.
magical.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you're right, it doesn't have to be country.
Right.
It
Yeah.
you know, it's wherever it lead takes you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hey, it could go in any direction.
Absolutely.
So did you get into any of the studios in Nashville? Were you able to at least go you said you went to a writer's round, but have you
Hmm.
been in any of the recording studios at all?
I have not, unfortunately.
Mm.
I did not get a chance to. I really wanted to, but we just didn't have time to work it out when I was there last.
So when if you go to Vanderbilt, what will you major in?
I would love to major in their human organization development major. So it's like the kind of the human side of business, and I would
Mhm.
get my undergrad in that, and then get my graduate degree in social work, and
Ooh.
probably double major with Spanish. And I want to work
Oh my
with
goodness.
underprivileged Spanish communities, Spanish speaking communities.
Oh,
Would
wow.
love to move to Spain for a couple years after I graduate. But alongside all of that, I still want to absolutely pursue my music. And I've always been, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. I know this
No,
wasn't
no, you're
exactly the
good, you're
question,
good. This is
Mhm.
but
interesting. Go ahead.
Mhm.
um, but world travel has always been a really big deal to me. And just observing different communities and people. And I just think it's the most beautiful thing that we live in this huge planet, and all of us have these different lives, but we're also similar in so many ways.
Mhm.
And from a young age, I've always loved creative writing and things. And one thing I've loved to write about is just kind of from an observational point of view, like looking at the lives of other people and almost putting yourself in their shoes. And that's where I've found a lot of joy in songwriting too, is kind of like putting those stories to music. And so something I'm so excited about is going to Spain or going to other countries and writing songs about the lives and the people that I see
Mhm.
there, and kind of through music giving people a tangible way to connect to other people and other cultures across the globe. And yeah, I don't know. It's just
Wow.
something that gets me so excited.
We can tell.
Mhm.
We can
Your
Yeah.
tell.
your
I mean,
parents must be very excited. You have a very
Yeah.
well thought out plan.
Yeah.
she's got it all down.
No,
Oh
that's
yeah. Oh yeah.
fantastic.
I just wanna know
Hey,
when
but
you're
if it
gonna
doesn't work out, it's okay. I don't
yeah.
care.
But you know, it'll work out one way or
Mhm.
another. It'll work
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and you'll be led in the direction that you need to go. I'm sure.
Right.
But if you've always got the music, but when are you going to
Absolutely.
find time? But you do all that you're talking about, and you still
Mm,
want to do music, and you're very
right.
talented. When are you going to find time to do that? It's
I mean,
crazy.
that's a really good question.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
really
have to
know.
wait and see, right?
Yeah, we will.
We'll have to wait and see.
In between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Right. That's
It'll get
usually
done.
when my stuff gets done. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that when you're at college, especially, that's
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, Constituting America. Now, if how does one get involved with that?
Well, I mean, there's some different ways to do it. I think going through the We the Future contest is always a
Mhm.
great, easy way to do it. And there's just, they send out, if you get on their newsletter, they do these different seminars all the time and talk about different things and have guest speakers. So that's a super easy way to get involved. And yeah, I mean, I think you can go on and volunteer for different programs that they do. And I don't
Mhm.
know, there's a lot of different ways, and they've molded the program in such a way that it's really applicable to lots of people. And I know there's lots of people that are homeschooled
Mhm.
that get a lot out of it, and there's lots of people in school, and there's adults, and I mean, it really, there's different facets of it that are useful for everyone. So
Sure. Sure. So have you heard your song on the radio?
I have not actually.
Have you heard it on streaming services?
Yes, definitely. My
And
friends love to play it anytime we're in the car together.
and how do you feel when you hear that?
I mean, it's almost a surreal thing because
Mhm.
I've looked at all these different artists that I listen to, on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, and I just think, oh my gosh, that's such the dream is to be, one of those artists. And then
Mhm.
whenever the first time I saw my profile like come up on Spotify, that's what I use. I use Spotify.
Sure.
When I first saw it come up, I was just like, oh my gosh, like my name is right next to, the Lumineers or Taylor Swift or whatever, like in my playlist, it's like, oh my gosh, that's me.
It's got to be
And
an
it's
awesome
only the
feeling.
beginning.
Yeah, I know. And that's the beauty of it. It's like
Mhm.
I'm starting here, but there's so much further to go.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Are you a senior?
I am.
You are. And you've
Yes.
already applied at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Excellent school.
Yeah,
And
it
I know
is.
we just talked about that a little bit, but man, I'll tell you, that's any of those schools or colleges in Nashville, Belmont, Vanderbilt. I mean, they all kick butt. They're definitely some good
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And there's a lot of artists that come out of there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just amazing we talk to so many different artists and we talk to them about their education, and they'll say they've either been to Belmont or Vanderbilt, and and they've just moved on from there. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. What about voice lessons?
Yeah, I started taking voice lessons when I was 9, and I've had the same teacher the whole way through, which has been so amazing. I
Nice.
love her so much. She's like my therapist. We had to double our lesson time because I just talked to her for the first half of it. So, yeah, but so I started taking voice lessons then, and then I'm in choir in my high school, and then the last 2 years I've been in 2 choir periods during my day. So that's definitely the highlight of my day. I live in the choir room, basically. Eat lunch in the choir room, actually, with all
There
my
you go.
friends. It's so fun. Yeah, and like I said, I lead worship in my church, and so I do that on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then I just finished as one of the leads in our school musical. So music and singing is 100% my personality.
It's not it's great that it's your personality and we can see that. It's also a lot of work.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
lot of work to stay up on it. And there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs.
yeah.
We hear that from a lot of different artists.
Mhm.
So you got to be ready to accept that good with the bad.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. We hear that a lot. It's pretty tough. But so if you go to Vanderbilt, then you can get involved with some of the songwriters in Nashville, and there's a ton of them, all different levels of songwriters.
Yeah.
Have you networked with any of them at all? Have you been able to say, you know what, I'd like to sit down and pick your brain a little bit, or how does
Yeah,
your process
so
work?
we have a couple of good family friends that ended up moving to Nashville, and a couple of them became songwriters. I'm blanking on their names exactly, but
Sure. Okay.
my parents were both super involved in teaching Sunday school at our church and in the youth group. And so those kids that have grown up and gone off to do great things. Last time we went to Nashville, we met with a couple of them, and they were super sweet. And I mean, everyone in Nashville kind of has that creative mindset. It's just like, yes, come, and like even if you're a novice or whatever, like we want to work with you, and we want, it's just that I love that mindset of just they want to share experiences with you. And because I think anybody in songwriting, bringing any experiences, it doesn't matter if you're, an amazing songwriter or not, like what you songwrite from is from your experiences and from your emotions and the things you've been through and your perspective. And, you don't have to be an incredible songwriter to be able to do that. So yeah, I have a couple of people that I've met so far that have done that for me, and have also through Constituting America, some people that I've been introduced to that have been super open to helping me out with that too.
Love it.
But yeah, I have some friends in Waco, honestly, that some of my high school friends that will just sit down and talk about, and I'll be like, hey, I have this started, but I really can't pinpoint where this needs to go, or I need help with this lyric or this chord or something. I have tons of musical friends that have helped me out a lot with a lot of my songs. And
That's
it's just so fun. It really is.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's fun talking to somebody like you too. It's cool to hear your process as an artist that is just starting out, more or less.
Yeah.
Tell us a little
Right.
bit about our Constitution. Tell me the writing of that. Tell me all about it. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so my mom actually saw the email and she was like, "Okay, Courtney, you can absolutely do this. Just go in your room, sit down, and write a song about the Constitution." And I was like, "Okay."
That's really not an easy topic if you
I
think
know,
about
it's
it.
I know
not.
it's really not. Yeah, so I got out my binder, my school binder, because we were going over some stuff about the Constitution in the past couple weeks. So I got out my binder and I was like reading through my notes, trying to make sure it was all factual. And so I tried to pull a little bit from like the historical, like actual, like the history of the Constitution, the factual stuff about it.
Mhm.
But also I was like, okay, how does this make me feel? And like, what is my connection to the Constitution? And how does the Constitution still impact me today? And so I started a note on my school iPad called Constitution Song. I didn't know what I was going to name it yet. And I wrote out a paragraph at the top and just basically wrote, I think that the Constitution allows me to feel free because, and just kind of wrote out all my thoughts about it. And then as I started writing the song, I pulled from that paragraph and just tried to stay rooted in, the fact that the
Mhm.
Constitution is something written so long ago that is still so prevalent in my life today. And so like in part of the chorus, I list out some of the amendments um, to the Constitution and those things that are so important to me and those things that like, my religious freedom, my freedom of speech, and those things that like I exercise every single day, Um, yeah, and I listened to a few different songs that I was, that were on my playlist at the time to kind of give me some ideas of melodies and hooks and things, and pulled from that, and also from I love playing the ukulele, and so I just used my favorite chords and threw something together,
Hmm.
and after a few hours, I came out and I had a
And
song.
there it
So
is.
there it is.
There it is. I love it.
It's amazing after a few hours and to write it about a topic that's really kind of difficult. So you are going to be a breeze when it comes to writing term papers at college. She'll be able to
Oh,
pump them
let's
right
hope.
out.
Yeah, I used to suck at those. I
Oh
was
my
terrible. I don't even want to think about those days. Glad it's
It's
long
over.
over.
It's gone. It's gone.
Long
Yeah.
over. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Why the ukulele?
Well, I chose it at first because it seemed the easiest to play because it has 4
Mhm.
strings.
Okay.
And, it kind of I mean, it was the fastest for me to pick up, it felt like. And I just loved, like, the bouncy, easygoing
Mhm.
feel of the ukulele and the sound. It's just, it just reminds me of good times and,
Yeah.
walking along the beach, and I don't know, there's nothing not to like about it, so
But there's no beach near Waco, is there?
Oh, definitely not. No,
That's
we
what I
drive 4
mean.
hours to the closest beach for sure.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Just a great opportunity for you to win this contest with your song "Our Constitution," to get your name out there with this great organization.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, and you're a great example of what it can do for somebody. Getting your song out there, it's being promoted, people are talking
Yeah.
about you, and now you once you get out of high school, you'll be moving on to even bigger things. And already I can tell you from somebody that's been doing this for a long time, and I think Deb would agree, we've both been doing this for a while. You're
Mhm.
very well spoken. You seem to have
Mhm.
your thoughts together. It sounds like you got your priorities in the right spot. I
Thank
don't
you.
your mom's probably going, yep, yep, yep. But no, seriously, you do. And
Thank you.
and you're still young. You're a senior in high school and you got the
Mm,
college ahead of you. So, girl,
mhm.
your process is, in my opinion, is right on. Is right
Mhm.
on.
Thank
I
you
You
so
know,
agree.
much.
you know what you want out of life. You know what you're going to go after it. Maybe you'll get
Mm,
it. Maybe you won't. But
yeah,
you'll be led in a direction that will be very beneficial for you. So
absolutely.
that's cool.
You'll probably end up doing the music full time, and you'll be doing your social work and
Yeah,
all your
right.
other things part time.
Oh,
That'll be your
absolutely. I would not be surprised.
yeah. So it's amazing. I'm pretty confident that you will have, to some capacity, all of those elements in your life.
Mm,
So that's awesome.
I'm going to throw a question at you that if you could sit down with an artist, anybody, dead or alive, If you could sit down and pick their brain a little bit, who would that be? Male, female? It doesn't matter.
That's a good question. Okay, I would have to say Jacob Collier.
Okay.
You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
He is a musical genius, in my opinion.
Okay.
The way that he uses melodies and harmonies and manipulates them is it's honestly fascinating. I've watched so many different interviews and things with him. I don't know, just to know the tunings like of chords and music the way he does is just so incredible, because one thing I run into a lot when I'm songwriting is that my songs just sound kind of similar to other songs, can sound kind of basic sometimes in my opinion. There's not a ton that can give them a lot of variety, and that's what I really try to look for a lot when I'm songwriting, is like what's something that would really set the song apart, that if you listen to it you're like, oh, that's interesting, that's different. You know, because after so long of songwriting, it's just, I mean, in all of time and history, and you know, there's just, it almost feels like there's nothing that hasn't been repeated, which is so wrong, because if you sit down for 5 extra minutes, you'll come up with something amazing. But that's where I feel like I get the most down on myself, is when I'm coming up with things that I don't feel as original as they could be. And the way that he can just take songs, I know I've seen him do some different arrangements and covers of songs, and even at that, make them sound totally unique and different. I think that's just, it's a really interesting skill to have.
Yeah.
And, you know, he did some vocal arrangements that he did in a key between two steps on the piano, because it was absolutely a cappella. So he could do it in a half key, which is just, things like that. I don't know how you can come up with that kind of stuff. So
see, he's got the right idea, though. He makes it unique. He makes it his own. And that's really, I feel that's something good to learn, because you don't want to sound like everybody else. You want to have your own style. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad you're thinking like that. That's excellent. That's excellent. So if somebody wanted to find out more about you, I guess we could just Google Courtney Janecka and get it all. And they can also hear your song. I know it's on YouTube. The video's on YouTube. And it's such a great song. And I can understand how and why it won. It's pretty cool. And to me, it's a step to bigger and better things. Much bigger. So
thank you.
I can see that happening. What? So the family, they're all excited. I mean, they're probably saying Courtney's going to be a star.
Yeah. Oh, you know, they've said that for a long time, and I mean, they're just very supportive family.
Yes.
We were actually all in Colorado together. That's where my family all meets, because we're kind of spread out. So we always meet in Crested Butte, Colorado during the summer of 4th of July. And this summer, I guess it was this summer, is when the song got published and went live. And we were all so excited. And I woke up one morning and I walked downstairs and they were all blaring the music super loud and cheering for me. I mean, this just, I have the best family you could ever ask for. And they're just my biggest fan club. And yeah, they're so excited for me.
And
that's so
when
exciting.
are we going to hear more?
That's the question.
Yeah.
I have pretty much a full EP written.
Okay.
That I'm very excited and ready to record. But it's just been so hard with, I got invited last minute on a mission trip to Uganda that I was 12 days and during the summer, and got back the day before school started. And so that was my plan, was to go down to Austin to do some recording then. And then that kind of went out the window. So I got back and started on college applications and just have not had a second, it feels like. But
totally. I get it.
I finally, yesterday, actually submitted my last thing that was due for college applications. So finally can let go of that for now, and really planning on focusing on finishing up recording my music so I can put it out there, because I'm just bursting with excitement.
Well, go ahead, Deb.
Do you have to go, you said, to Austin to record? So how
so
far is that for you?
Austin's an hour and a half for me.
Okay.
And there's some studios in Waco that are great quality, but I just have a couple of connections in Austin, and just the quality is a little bit better. So that would be like my next step closer to Nashville. And next time I'm back in Nashville, I'm absolutely going to a recording studio. But you know, for the time being, Austin's my next best option.
So is that something you'll do? Do you like go there for a weekend and try to get all the songs in that are going to be on the EP, or do you have to go back and forth a couple times?
I think I will probably just come down. Like I'll have to see when I get there. But my brother lives in Austin. One of them does. He went to UT.
Mhm.
So I'll probably go stay with him for a few days and make it
Oh,
a couple day
okay.
recording session. But if I get to the end of that, because I don't want to rush it at all. I don't want
Right.
to have a deadline for it because, I want to get there and, do what feels right. And I feel like the music is so important and just letting it breathe and kind of live and grow into what it's going to become. Because I have the basics and the bones written
Mhm.
out for it, but I really want someone who can experiment with me and play with it and just find where it needs to be. So yeah, I'm not really sure.
Oh, that's the fun of the whole thing is learning as you go
Absolutely.
and figuring things out. So that's great.
Mm.
Courtney, you're awesome. I just,
Thank
and
you
the
so
song
much.
Our Constitution is the song that we need right now. And
Mm.
just, it's a great start, as I mentioned. And just want to say thank you for spending about 30 minutes here with us and talking
Of
about you
course.
and what's next. And it's just, you're really young and you've got a lot. I mean, wow,
Hmm.
just the sky's the limit for you right now.
Hmm.
And
Definitely.
just go. And I know Deb would say the same thing. We hope to see you in Nashville because,
Hmm.
Mm.
we're actually there quite
Yeah.
often. So it's just a great city, and for you to pursue your dream and your dedication to
Hmm.
music. And good luck with your college. And hopefully,
Thank
I don't
you.
know, does Vanderbilt, are you feeling good about that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would like to say yes, but I never
I know,
know.
I get it. That's exciting though.
What is your second choice if Vanderbilt doesn't work out for you?
Um, I'm also super interested in University of North Carolina
Mhm.
in
Ooh,
Chapel Hill. Yeah.
okay. Nice area.
And UT in Austin, of course, is always sorry, yeah, UT, University of Texas, not to be confused
Okay.
with University of Tennessee. I know that
Okay.
gets kind of confusing sometimes. But no, the one in Texas in Austin, yeah, that one,
Okay.
the Longhorn one. That one's
Okay.
probably my third choice.
Love
Okay.
it.
All
I have a
good
good feeling.
choices.
I have
Yep.
a good feeling about Vanderbilt. I don't know.
Yeah, me too, hopefully.
I have a really good feeling about that. And we wish you a lot of luck on that. Again, thank you
Mhm.
for spending some time with us here tonight.
Yes, thank you
Our
for having me.
Constitution, you're welcome.
Mhm.
Our Constitution is the song. If you see this video down the road, look it up on YouTube. You'll see the video, you'll hear it. It's that young lady right there, Courtney Janecka. And she's going to be a star. Keep an eye on that name because
Mhm.
if she's got her life in order for a
Mhm.
17-year-old. Are you 17? Can I ask? Are you
Yeah,
17?
yes, I am.
So for a 17-year-old, that's pretty awesome because I know a
Thank
lot of
you.
17-year-olds that are
Uh,
going, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I
yep,
don't know where I want to go.
exactly.
I don't know if I want to do this.
Mhm.
I don't know if I want to do that. You're like, I'm
Mhm.
going to do this. I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to go here. Then I got
Mhm.
this. And then if I get time, I'll do this. That's
Right, yeah.
amazing. No, it's amazing. And it's your parents need to be proud. I mean,
Mhm.
that is so cool. So thank you very much for joining us here tonight on Skip
Mhm.
Happens and some great information. And if you want to follow, if you like country music and you want to follow the Country Music Fan Club, Deb, what's all your?
So we're
'Cause
on Facebook, the
I screw it up
official,
every time. So
yes, the official CMFC or the official Country Music Fan Club. Also, too, when you release new music, you let us know. We promote the new music every Friday. We have New Music Fridays,
Mhm.
and we promote our independent artists as well as the established artists. But we really like to get our new artists out there, give them some new fans to listen to their music. And we're on Instagram too, by the way.
She's
So,
everywhere. She's
whatever.
everywhere.
And I'm in Nashville half the time.
Yep. Every other hour. She'll
So,
be leaving after we get done tonight to head
yeah.
back to the airport. So,
Mhm.
no, I'm
Well,
just
I'm
kidding.
going to stay home for Thanksgiving.
That's
Then I
right.
go back in a couple of weeks.
That's
So,
right. And real quick, what do you got planned for Thanksgiving now that
mhm.
we've mentioned that?
Oh, well, my grandma, her legacy was always to invite as many people as possible to Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And so we always try to find people who don't have family to spend it with. And we usually end up
Oh.
having about 50 people at our Thanksgiving
What?
lunches. And so, yeah, so we are planning on having a big Thanksgiving with a lot of family and a lot of non family. And I
Mhm.
just cannot be
I
more
love it.
excited. So,
Yeah.
And where do you do that? At her house?
yeah, we do it at my grandparents' house.
Wow, that's a lot of cooking to be done, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
one more question. So when you're around
Yeah.
a crowd of people like that, or when you're together in Colorado, does your
Mhm.
family and friends like to have you pull out your guitar or something and start singing for them?
Oh yeah, all the time. My mom's favorite thing is Courtney, sing something for us.
And you're like,
Okay.
Mom.
Amazing Grace.
It's hard to say no to Mom, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's
That's
good
cool.
is she keeps you on your toes because you just
Oh
never
yeah.
know.
Oh
You'll
Yeah.
come across someone someday in the business and they're going to say, just sing me something.
I love it. I
You'll be
love
ready.
it.
Yeah, that's great.
So awesome. Courtney, thank you again for joining us here tonight on Skip Happens. And you can
Of
follow
course.
us on YouTube. Skip Happens on YouTube as well. And you can see all of our past interviews. Like I said, it's a lot of well-established artists and a lot of new up-and-coming artists. So a lot of them you probably would know. So it's kind of cool. So make sure you check it out. Courtney, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Stay right there. Here we go.
It's kind of